What is good, guys? Today I've got a treat for you. We're going to be learning all about this Japanese Kei car. Now, this particular one, it's called a Subaru R2. Now, I don't know anything about this model car. This is the first time I got to see it and I got to drive it and stuff like that. And if you don't know what a Kei car is here in Japan, it's pretty much any car that has these yellow number plates. And what it means is its engine has to be a certain size limit. So all Kei cars are 600 cc's. They're not even a liter. And they're pretty much little small space cars that are good for cities and tight spaces and things like that. So anyways, we're gonna jump into this. I'm gonna go through everything on the car, full walk around. We're gonna go look in the engine bay, see if there's a little turbo and stuff like that in there, which generally most Kei cars tend to have here in Japan, especially around the early 2000s and late 90s, a lot of turbo Kei cars. So anyways, let's jump right into it. All right, so first of all, I wanna show you guys just how small this thing is. I am 6'3", and it's really small in here. This is like literally my arm here. I can not even stretch, like staying here like that. I can put my fist up against the wall, like not even fingers extended or anything like that. And leg wise, well, I think this is as far back as the seat goes, and my knee is pretty much that close to the steering column. Back seat wise, yeah, you know, it's a small car. It's a Kei car, you know. As you can see, the car has a few little modest mods. It's got an aftermarket steering wheel boss kit and a little boost gauge here, which I'm not sure if it's turboed yet. We'll find out when we pop the hood. But when I was driving it, it did look like it was getting a little bit of boost, but I don't know. I assume that this is in kilograms, but I'm not 100% sure. But I find it really interesting that they sell boss kits and aftermarket, like, you know, steering wheel hub kits for these cars. But then again, if you know anything about Japan, is everyone likes to make their car unique and, you know, just do whatever the hell they want to it. So at the same time, I'm not surprised that there is a market for that here in Japan and companies make it. So anyways, enough showing you guys the interior. Let's move straight to the engine bay. Okay, so I've popped the hood here, and at first, the first thing I thought was, man, this thing is adorable. It's so small and cute. Everywhere I look at it, I'm just like, ah. This particular model of the R2 is front wheel drive only, but there are all-wheel drive versions. I still can't get over that it's a little supercharged 4-cylinder 600cc engine. It's so cool. But overall, the car, like aesthetically, this one, as I said, it's a loaner car, so it hasn't been kept in like the best condition, but it's still really cool to look at. And in fact, this is giving me a really good idea, because I wouldn't actually mind a little Subaru R2 just as a daily and for me to drive backwards and forwards from Ebisu and stuff like that. The car handles really well at 100 kilometers an hour. It's not in the high RPM range. I think it would be good on fuel. This exhaust though, I don't know about that if I'm keen on that. Look at the plastic's been melting on it from the bumper. But yeah, overall, I mean, the car right now has a huge exhaust leak. When I was driving it here, you could hear it, and I'll start it up later and you guys can hear it too, but it's actually bottomed out on the bottom of the extractors. But just, man, I could stare in this all day, and this is crazy, this whole system here. Like, that's the throttle body there, and the throttle body is piped into the supercharger there. It's so weird, because, like, you know, you'd normally see like a huge intake manifold and a throttle body chilling there, but if you have a look in the back here, the intercooler, so this is the inlet here from the supercharger, comes into the intercooler, out of the back of the intercooler there, then just comes around the back and then goes into the 4 little ports in the back of the head there. There's no throttle body between that. So the throttle body is actually before the supercharger here. So it's really interesting. That's your throttle cable there. So yeah, man, this thing would be so cool to like kind of work on and get it sounding better and stuff like that, and just see what it would really sound like if you opened it all up, took the airbox off, put a pod filter on there, put a big, like a bit of a more like unrestricted exhaust on there and stuff like that. Man, so yeah, I'm really keen on maybe getting a little R2 as our daily / the car to teach May how to drive in, because once she does her test and her exam, she has to get some experience driving, as well as I want her to be able to have a car that she's comfortable driving in, and I think one of these would be perfect. And they're really cheap, so cheap, like $600 you can pick up one with like 160,000 kilometers on it, which is fine, like as long as you just do your servicing, they're good. Okay, so taking a look in the boot, man, I love that Subaru badge and how it's the handle. There's not a whole bunch of space, as you'd expect, right? But there's enough space for a couple camper chairs and looks like empty can of Monster Energy drink. Man, Elbow is a machine. Every like Friday and Saturday nights, he is out scouring like all the local car places, trying to meet new people that are into cars and racing, Hashira and all that type of stuff, to try and like make documentaries and stuff. It's crazy. But what I did want to show you was the backseat space is kind of a bit troubling. For someone my size at least anyways, like I can't fit my legs behind the chair. Now the chair, the front seat is all the way back because I was driving it. So if someone with long legs was driving and you expected someone with long legs to get in the back, not gonna happen. And like if I try to close the door, my knee is jammed in between the seat and the armrest. But at least the car has electric windows that work when the key's in the ignition. But the size of the door is just, it's so tiny. I can't get over it. It's so cute, this car. All right, let's fumble out of here. So it's a bit of a struggle for big guys to get in them, but it's a Kei car. It's super cool. It's just tiny and cute, and I think there's all these tick boxes that I have, like, you know, living in Japan and all the things that I want to be able to do, and definitely getting a Kei car and using that as my daily is definitely one of them. Putting aside how it's logical and makes sense to do that for saving money on gas and fuel and storage and just parking and all that type of stuff. And so, you know, you're not using your drift car for everything. But just always wanted one. And this is so cool. Like, it's supercharged instead of turbo. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I just think it's cool. So anyways, let's go for a drive and let you guys hear this thing. Everything about this car is so small. It's a crack up. Like the pedals, all the little buttons. It's like I'm driving a little small person's car. It's kind of funny. Oh, hang on, before we go, I have to put the mirrors out. Push the little button, out they go. All right, we're good. Let's go for a drive. Thing sounds like a lawnmower. It literally sounds like a lawnmower. All right. We're at, that's all she's got. Oh man, is it gonna get, it's in drive, but it like won't change gears. It was at 0.5 bar of boost. What's that, like 8 PSI or something? There's definitely no feeling of like a sudden boost kick like you would normally feel in like a turbocharged car. What I can tell by looking at the boost gauge though, which I'll try and film this with my phone camera as I take off here. Just make sure there's no people going across the crossing. And I'll just flick to my video camera on my iPhone and we'll do like a little bit of a pull down the street. And I'll hold the video there so you can see, and we'll throw this in the video. All right. It just stays at 0.5. Okay, so it's not super fast and it's not like, you know, zippy or anything like that. To me, it just feels like a small, naturally aspirated car. You know, something like a little Daewoo Mirror or something like that, like the Australian version. It kind of feels like that. You can kind of tell that there is boost. You can definitely tell that because the engine just maxes out way quicker than what an NA car would. But it just kind of stays there and doesn't build any higher. You know, it's not like a turbo whatsoever. But in saying that, it's a cool car. Like the cool factor of this is awesome. And I think that this probably isn't a good example for me to test drive like a Subaru R2 because I think it is a bit worn down and it's definitely probably got some power loss and stuff like that. So I think if I jumped in one that was in better condition, I'd probably get better results and like it'd feel faster, as well as it would sound better. That exhaust leak is terrible. Thing sounds like a lawnmower. But overall, the drivability of the car, like it feels good driving it. I think this would be a really practical car for driving around cities and stuff like that, which is what they're designed for. And you know, like, listen to this thing. It's legit sounds like a lawnmower or a whippersnipper. It's a cracker. But like I said, it's a Kei car. You know, it's designed for just little things of getting around, fitting in small car parks and small streets and stuff like that. And this is totally a good investment if you know, store your drift car at Ebisu and you want to save gas money and all that type of stuff. All right, so all in all, I think this is a great car. Forgetting like the entire like cool factor of this and how it's a Kei car, I'm in Japan in a Kei car, and it's a freaking little 4-cylinder supercharged Subaru R2 Kei car. Like, I mean, we could rant on for ages about how cool it is, but like this thing is super cool. It's probably really reliable. It's at 200,000 kilometers now, so that answers that. It's reliable. It's got a little bit of power, so it's zippy and stuff like that. It's not over the top though. You can have a bit of fun in it. You can get the all-wheel drive version, which I definitely know would be a bunch of fun in the snow, hitting some roads with that. But just like, you know, being able to go backwards and forwards from Ebisu, not having to spend a bunch of money on fuel like I would with my Skyline, or risk breaking it and stuff like that, I think it's just an awesome idea, especially just for people in Tokyo and stuff. It makes so much sense. And just me being able to have this as a daily to like bring my friends to the beach and drive around more in Japan and explore those places here without having to take my Skyline and risk breaking it or racking up miles on it and stuff like that, I think it's brilliant. So future of the channel is I definitely want to get one of these. I'm really kind of liking the R2 as well, just for the fact of I'd love to get a newer version of these, maybe like the all-wheel drive one, and put a livery on it to make it look like R2-D2 from Star Wars. I think that'd be cool. I'm sure someone else has already done that in Japan because heaps of people here love Star Wars and cars. But yeah, my consensus is if you ever get the chance to get one of these, get them. I mean, you don't even have to think about like any of the practicalities or anything about the car. It's just so freaking cool that why wouldn't you buy one if you could? Anyways, those guys, that's me. I'm gonna wrap up this video now. Thanks heaps for watching. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Tell me in the comment section what you thought. If you wanna see more videos like this where I get to jump in people's cars and test drive them and kind of give you a walk around and tell you about the car as I learn at the same time as you guys. And yeah, we'll go from there, I guess, because I definitely wanna put some more of this content on the channel, but I wanna see what you guys think about it first. So yeah, hit up all my social media down in the description. If you want to send me anything, my PO box is there as well. And I'll catch you on the next video, guys. Ja mata ne.